Now, as we have done with the various types of statistical data, now we will see the types of big data analytics. So, it is useful to distinguish between different kinds of analytics because the differences have implications for the technologies and architectures used for big data analytics. Some types of analytics are better performed on some platforms than on others. We can see from this particular diagram what is the historical evolution of big data analytics. It started from descriptive. It's the types of data analytics which is lies in between values and the complexity. So it had been started by descriptive, then the diagnostic, then predictive, then perspective, and nowadays the outcome analytics is the very important phase or type which is also considered. So when we are talking about descriptive, so what's happening in my business, that type of data like comprehensive, accurate and live data, effective visualization is considered. Then diagnostic, as its name implies, diagnosis, that is why it is happening, ability to drill down the root cause, ability to isolate all the information, that is nothing but the confounding information. Then predictive, predictive is prediction, that what's likely to happen, that business strategies have remained fairly consistent over time. Then the historical patterns being used to predict specific outcomes using algorithms. The decisions are automated using algorithms and technology. Then prescriptive, what do I need to do? That is recommended actions and strategies that are based on challenges testing strategy outcomes and applying the advanced analytical techniques to make the specific recommendations. So in general, we can say that there are 5 types of big data analytics in the most current literature according to. Now we will see in detail. So starting with the first, that is the descriptive analytics. That is what is happening. So it looks at data and analyzes the past event for insights. So the first stage of business analytics is descriptive analytics, which still accounts for the majority of all business analytics today. This is the most common of all the forms. In business, it provides the analyst the view of key metrics and measures within the business. Descriptive analytics is actually used as it is considering the past performance, that is past events, and understands the performance by mining historical data to look for the reason behind past success or failure. So the most management reporting such as sales, marketing, operations and finance uses this type of post-mortem analysis, we can say. So it quantifies the relationship in data in a way that is often used for the classification purpose. That's why the descriptive analytics such as reporting, dashboards and data visualizations are widely used for some time. These techniques is the most time intensive and often produces the least value. However, it is useful for uncovering the patterns within a certain segment of customers. So we can say that the descriptive analytics provides the insight into what has happened historically, and it provides the trends that dig into more detail. It gains the insights from historical data with reporting, scorecards, clustering, etc. So if we will consider the example, then we can consider the example of monthly profit and loss statement. So the analyst could have data on large population of customers. Understanding the demographic information on their customers is, we can say, that is categorized as descriptive analytics, and utilizing effective visualization tools that enhances the message of descriptive analytics. So in the descriptive analytics application, in applying the statistics to a problem, it is a common practice to start with the population. So now when we are dealing with the descriptive analytics, so the key points are backward looking. It is focused on descriptions and comparisons, pattern detection and description, mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive categorization, then segmentation, that is nothing but the category development based on similarities as well as all the various differences. So that is descriptive analytics. Then comes, that is the diagnostic analytics, that is why it is happening. So it is the form of advanced analytics that examining the data or content to answer the question why it did it happen, and that's why it is categorized by techniques such as drill down, data discovery, data mining, and the correlations. So we can say that this is the next step of complexity in data analytics after descriptive analytics. And on the assessment, the diagnostic analytic tools will empower an analyst to drill down and isolate the root cause of a problem. Well designed business information dashboards incorporating the reading of time series data and featuring filters that are drilling down the capability for analysis. Data scientists actually turn this technique when they are trying to determine why something has happened. It is useful when researching, reading churn indicators and usage trends among your most loyal customers. So example can be churn reason analysis, customers health score analysis, and all. So the key points are, it also focuses on backward looking, focused on causal relationship and sequences, relative ranking of dimensions based on inferred explanatory power, target dependent variable with independent variables and dimensions, and it includes both frequency and Bayesian causal inference analysis. Then comes, that is the predictive analysis. What is likely to happen? It turns the data into valuable and actionable information. So predictive analysis is about forecasting. It is the likelihood of an event that is happening in future. It is a quantifiable amount, or we can say estimation of a point in a time at which something might happen. So all these things can be done by the predictive models. So predictive models typically, we can say the basic cornerstones of them are predictive modeling, decision analysis, optimization, and transaction profiling. So whenever we are talking about predictive modelings, they are utilizing the variety of variable data to make the prediction, and the variability of the component data is having relationship with what we are trying to predict. For example, older a person, the more susceptible they are having a heart attack. So we would say that age has a linear correlation with heart attack risk. So these are the data which are compiled together for score or prediction. So in forecasting method, historical data is combined with rules, algorithms, and because of that we can determine the probable future. So the key points are forward looking. It focused on non-discrete predictions of future states, description of prediction results, model application, non-discrete forecasting. Then comes, that is the perspective analysis. Now perspective analysis, what do I need to do? It is the next step in terms of value and complexity. So it turns data into valuable and actionable format. So the prescriptive model utilizes the understanding of what happened, why it is happened, and a variety of what might happen analysis to help the user to determine the best course of action to take. The prescriptive analysis is typically not just for individual action, but it is a fact, uh, but it is, we can say, a host for other actions. So it uses the data to determine the probable future outcomes of event. And the basic cornerstones are predictive modeling, decision analysis, optimization, and transaction profiling. So the perspective analytics extends beyond predictive analytics by specifying the actions that are necessary so that the interrelation effects can be considered. It is most valuable and most underused technique which gives us the focus for every specific question. And the key points for that are forward looking, it focused on optimal decisions for future situations, simple rules to complex models which are applied on automated basis, discrete prediction of individual data set, optimization and decision rules. And a good example is traffic application. So because of that we are able to choose the best route we can have. Then the next that comes, that is the outcome analytics. So it is also called as the consumption analytics, and this provides the insights into customer behavior that drives the specific outcomes. So one of the most innovative aspects is the ability to model the impact of positive or negative changes on household access to food and income. That complete process is outcome analysis. Means we are trying to predict, or we can trying to insight the behavior of customer for the specific outcome. So from that, what we are doing, it is mean to help you know your customers better and learn how they are interacting with the product and services. So creating increased value for customers is today a business imperative, and what we can say, that is business process management players can step into develop customized analytic solution that delivers the targeted business outcomes. So these outcomes can be varied, and the key points of outcome analytics is backward looking, real time, and forward looking, focused on consumption patterns, description of users thresholds, and the model applications. So we can see that how the optimization of business data to create business insights has been done. That is, from descriptive analytics, we are moving to diagnostic to find the root cause. Then we are doing the forecasting. Then we are doing how can it happen, that is foresight, and then the business insight, that is the outcome analytics. So this was all about the various types of the big data analytics. Now in the next section we will see collecting data for sampling and distribution. Thank you.